Hello. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to have a way to think about division and think about fractions. So let's go ahead and put up a problem. I'm going to do 3/8. Okay. So 3/8. Actually, I'll do what I'll do is I'll do 11/8. Let's do 11/8. That way you can see a bigger example. So 11/8. Okay. So what I'm doing is I want to know how many equal groups of 8 I can get out of this 11. Okay? Now, a few things I noticed right here is I'm going to have at least one, but then I'm going to have partial. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to break this down. I have 11 objects. We're going to say 11 boxes here. I want to divide them into 8 equal groups. So I'm going to take 8 of these, and now I have one group. So there's one whole. Okay, I'm going to do the math below it so you can see it. I have 11 total, and I want to divide them into 8 equal groups. That gives me 1. Okay, I'm going to take 8 away, so I'm going to take those 8 away, and I'm just going to, oops, I have 12 there. There we go. There's 11. Okay, so I'm going to take those 8 away and just focus on these 3 now, because I already know that these 8 make one group. So I'm going to take those 8 away. 1 times 8. I have 3 left. All right, so now I have 3 boxes, and I need to divide those into 8 groups of 8. Okay, so I can no longer make a full group out of this, so I'm going to have to cut them into pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide each one of these into groups of 10. And I chose groups of 10 because our number system goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it goes back to 0 again. So it repeats every 10. So I'm going to do this in groups of 10. Okay, so change this 3 into a 30. So I'm going to extend my box so I have space for it. Okay. All right, so there's my 30. So I've cut my boxes up, and now I've got 30 pieces. All right, how many groups of 8 can I get out of 30 pieces? Well, here, let's go ahead and circle a few so I can see them. Here's one group. Here's 2 groups. Here's 3 groups of 8. Okay. So I have 3 groups, which is 24 pieces, which means I have 6 pieces left over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now I'm going to take those 6 little itty bitty pieces, and I'm going to turn those into even smaller pieces, because I want to divide these up into equal groups. So these little pieces are now going to be divided up into even smaller pieces. So each one of these little boxes are those. Okay. So again, there's not 8 pieces here. I'm going to have to cut them up. I'm going to cut them up into groups of 10 again. Which means now I have 60. Okay. And I'm just going to keep doing this process over and over and over again. If I ever get to a point where my remainder here, my leftover, is the same as any step above it, that means that I have a repeating decimal, and it's just going to, at that point, just repeat over and over again. If it just ends up, which I'm going to go ahead and finish this one so you can see that this one ends. I have one group of 8, 2 left over right there. It's getting a little hard to see. One group of 8, 2 left over. 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 And then out of these groups of 2, I have another group of 8 right here, and I have 4 left over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 groups of 8, which is 56. So I have 4 left over. All right, I'm going to take those 4, I'm going to make those into even smaller boxes. So each one of those small boxes became smaller boxes, become smaller boxes. Oh my gosh, will this ever end? All right, well, I'm going to divide these up into 10, which now I have 40. Okay. Okay. So when I do that, I have one group, two groups, three groups, four groups. I have two left over again. Starting to see the pattern, and that becomes a group. So I have 5 groups of 8, which is 40 exactly. And because this stopped, this is a terminating decimal. So that would be my answer for that one. It'd be 1.375.